The power of stepping forward. What our stories teach us. Have you ever noticed how we're all walking around with these invisible backpacks? Not the cute designer ones. I'm talking about the heavy ones filled with experiences that have shaped us, moments that have broken us, and lessons that have rebuilt us. Some days, that backpack feels impossibly heavy. Other days, we forget it's even there. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Johnette Dixon, a visionary whose work has transformed countless lives through her profound understanding of personal narrative and growth. Johnette isn't just another self help guru with rehearsed platitudes. She's a force of nature who has helped thousands reclaim their stories and find meaning in their most devastating chapters. Her approach combines raw honesty with compassionate insight in a way that makes you feel both challenged and deeply understood. Our conversation left me both humbled and electrified. Every experience, she told me, is a teacher if you're willing to be the student. That line hit me right in the chest. How many of us rush through our lives, sprinting from one achievement to the next without ever unpacking what each moment is trying to teach us? We're like tourists speeding through the Louvre, snapping photos of the Mona Lisa without ever really seeing her smile. The truth is, we're all stumbling through life collecting bruises and badges of honor. But here's what Johnette Dixon helped me understand. Those experiences aren't just things that happen to us, they're the raw materials for building who we become. They're not just chapters in our story, they're the ink with which we write the next page. Let's be honest. When life knocks us down, and it will knock us down, our first instinct isn't usually to say, wow, what a beautiful learning opportunity. It's more like, are you kidding me? Not this again. I've been there. You've been there. We've all been there, sitting on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m., wondering how we're going to face tomorrow. And if you haven't been there yet, well, buckle up because life has a funny way of making sure we all get our turn. But what if those moments, yes, even the bathroom floor moments, are actually invitations? Invitations to understand ourselves more deeply, invitations to discover strengths we didn't know we had, invitations to connect with others through our shared humanity. During our interview, Johnette shared something that completely reframed my thinking. She said, growth isn't about avoiding the fall, it's about how you get back up, what you notice while you're down there, and who you help up along the way. This philosophy isn't just beautiful, it's revolutionary in a world obsessed with perfection and highlight reels. It's like being given permission to be gloriously and perfectly human, and not just permission, encouragement. Let me tell you about a group of women who embodied this principle so powerfully that they've changed an entire community. In Senegal, a collective of Black women entrepreneurs created something extraordinary called Jardin Eve Senegal. These women faced crushing cultural expectations that told them female entrepreneurship wasn't valuable or appropriate. They had limited resources, and I don't mean they couldn't afford the premium LinkedIn subscription. I mean basic infrastructure challenges that would make most of us throw in the towel before we even started. Society pressured them to conform to traditional roles that had nothing to do with building businesses or leading communities. But instead of accepting these limitations, they created something radical. Supportive networks through workshops and community gatherings where women could share their stories, learn business skills, and lift each other up. They didn't just talk about problems, they created solutions together. One participant told organizers, Before these meetings, I thought my dreams were selfish. Now I understand that my success creates possibility for others. Isn't that powerful? The realization that your ambition isn't just for you, it's a torch that lights the way for others. These women didn't just talk about empowerment, they built it brick by brick, story by story. They hosted multiple large scale events attended by hundreds of aspiring entrepreneurs across Senegal. Their work has sparked similar initiatives throughout West Africa, all focus on amplifying Black women's voices in business. What makes this story so powerful isn't just what these women accomplished, it's how they did it. They understood that transformation happens in community, that vulnerability creates strength, and that progress often comes in small, determined steps. Which brings me to another insight from my conversation with Johnette Dixon. Growth comes step by step. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success. We want the six pack abs without the months of workouts. We want the corner office without the years of building expertise. We want the healed heart without doing the painful work of processing grief. We're like microwave people living in a slow cooker world, constantly disappointed that our instant results aren't, well, instant, but real lasting change doesn't work that way. It's more like planting a garden than ordering takeout. You can't rush it, you can't force it. And sometimes you have to trust the process, even when you can't see what's happening beneath the surface. There's this beautiful movement that captures this truth perfectly. It's called Javance Pas à Pas, which translates to I move forward step by step. This online community, particularly popular among Black professionals, encourages people to document their incremental progress toward personal goals. Many participants struggle with self doubt stemming from systemic barriers or past setbacks that made forward momentum feel impossible. Through daily video journals shared on TikTok under the hashtag Javance Pass APS, members celebrate small victories together while openly discussing failures as lessons rather than defeats. One community member posted, Today I applied for a position I'm not fully qualified for. My step forward was pressing submit, despite the voice in my head saying I don't belong there. Another shared, failed my certification exam for the second time. My step forward is signing up again instead of giving up. The hashtag now has millions of posts worldwide featuring stories of perseverance from people overcoming adversity one day at a time. It has become a source of inspiration for marginalized groups seeking validation for their unique journeys. What's powerful about this movement is how it honors the small steps, the ones that don't make headlines, but ultimately create the path forward. It recognizes that some days getting out of bed is the victory. Some days trying again is the achievement. Some days simply not giving up is enough. As Johnette Dixon emphasized in our interview, there's power in moving forward, even if progress feels slow or unsteady. Each small action builds towards lasting change and self understanding. I find myself wondering how different our lives might be if we measure success not by how quickly we reach the destination, but by how present we were for each step of the journey. What if we celebrated progress over perfection? What if we honored the process as much as the outcome? But here's where things get really interesting. Both Jardin Eve Senegal and the Javance movement share a common thread that Johnette Dixon highlighted as essential: the power of sharing our stories. Sharing your story, she told me, isn't just about healing yourself. It creates space for others to heal, learn, and grow alongside you. This might be the most radical act of all in a world that often encourages us to present polished, perfect versions of ourselves. When we share our authentic journeys, complete with the stumbles, the doubts, and the messiness, we give others permission to embrace their own humanity. I'm reminded of something Maya Angelou once said: there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Our stories want to be told. They need to be told, not just for our own liberation, but for the liberation of others who might see themselves reflected in our experiences. The women of Jardin Eve Senegal understood this. By creating safe spaces for dialogue about struggles and successes, they fostered community resilience. The participants in the Javance movement understand this too. By documenting both victories and setbacks, they're creating an honest narrative about what growth really looks like. This isn't about trauma dumping or oversharing. It's about thoughtful vulnerability, choosing to reveal parts of our journey that might help light the way for someone else. It's about saying, I've been where you are, and there is a path forward. When we share our stories, something magical happens. The very experiences that once isolated us become bridges connecting us to others. The lessons we've learned at great cost become gifts we can offer freely. Our wounds, when shared with intention, become sources of wisdom rather than just sources of pain. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge that goes beyond passive listening. Today, right now, I'm asking you to make a decision that could change everything, both for you and for someone else. Choose one story from your life, one struggle, one triumph, one lesson learned the hard way, and share it. Not the sanitized version, not the Instagram version, the real version, with all its complexity and emotion. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Write it down, speak it aloud, create art from it. But don't let it stay locked inside you where it can't serve its purpose. Because your story isn't just yours, it's a light in the darkness for someone else. It's proof that they're not alone. It's evidence that growth is possible, that healing happens, that stepping forward, even when it's just one small step, matters. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more honest ones, more brave ones, more people willing to say, this is who I am. This is where I've been. This is what I've learned. So take that step, share that story, be that bridge. Because as Johnette Dixon so eloquently reminded us, every life experience, good or bad, offers a lesson that can shape you into a more resilient and insightful individual. And in sharing those lessons, we don't just change our own lives, we change the world one story at a time. Thank you